Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's session on the emotional intelligence in the workplace. Personally, I believe it's a very important topic, and it can do wonders for somebody's career and also personal life. Now, we have today with us Maria Trujillo, who is a qualified psychologist, to share some of her insights and ideas on how emotional intelligence can help in the workplace. So without further ado, Maria, it's over to you.
Thank you, Mario. How is everybody? I'm thrilled to be sharing with you this session, and thank you all for joining me in this journey through emotions. So I'm going to start saying that this is going to be a very emotional travel that we are going to embark ourselves. As Mario introduced myself, my name is Maria Isabel. I'm from Colombia. I'm a psychologist, and my background includes the management of psychology department here in a school that I work with, and the leading over 15 social projects about human development, inclusion, but the most important thing that you need to know about me is that I feel really passionate about my work, about psychology, and all topics related. And now, absolutely, I'm working with MBS Academy as a professional instructor. So, as I was saying, we are going to embark in this journey through our emotional self. So come with me. I want you to, first of all, don't believe anything that I'm saying. And there's a mic. Can we put it off? Thank you. So this may shock you, but I want you to understand that when you're going to embark in any journey, you need to be more open-minded, and you need to be more like empty your mind to new experiences, to new knowledge. So if you don't agree with me in some of my points of view, that's okay, and that's great, because we don't think the same. We are from different cultures, and we need to be more open to debate. So if you want to share with me some knowledge and we both can to learn certain things, I'm open about it. Here is our agenda. I'm not going to stop very long here. And in every journey that we did, imagine you go camping or you travel to another country. You need some agreements or some ground rules. First of all, through this journey, I want to encourage you to go and find your favorite beverage or some snacks or some food, because you need to recharge your energy. So feel free to do that. Also, I always remember, or I always recommend and suggest to my patients and to the people that I see to have like a journal. You don't have to write every single day in it, but it's the best way you can express your ideas, your thoughts, your emotions, and it's scientifically proving that writing is a very therapeutic way to understand yourself. So feel free to have a notebook or a piece of paper and a pen to write down certain notes that you find interesting or your learnings. We are going to listen carefully, and here I'm going to invite you as well to put on an airplane mode or to put far away your cell phone. I know we are in this technology era, and this is very hard for all of us, but it's really important that you focus, or that we focus on this lecture, because I'm going to share with you certain knowledge that you may or may not agree with, but absolutely it's going to start questioning and wondering and thinking about emotional intelligence. And most important, as I told you before, be open to knowledge, be open to new experience, be open to new types of information. Great. So, what is the purpose or the main goal on this lecture these days? Comprehends the importance of having emotional intelligence and manage our emotions in every aspect of life, especially at the workplace. So, if we consider, and if you read the publicity of this event, it says that we can consider the workplace as a jungle, as this this space that challenges, that it could be.
Yo pienso, o tú te las vas a comer todo.
Please remember the mics off, because I have like I'm very distracted with that. Thank you. So the workplace can be very stressful, and the workplace can be very overwhelming sometimes. So it's crucial to develop emotional awareness. And I'm going to stop right here in this image that you can see on the screen, that we have in a balance the brain and the heart. And I don't know about you, but in my country and in my culture, we usually heard something like this. Brain can enters into matters of the heart, or maybe you're too rational. You don't put your heart in things. Both of these scenarios are a little complicated, and it's going to be challenging to understand and to comprehend that both our brain, our rational part, and our heart needs to be in a better balanced way. So if you are too rational, and if you don't put your heart, your soul, your emotions on your work or on your thoughts, you're pretty much, you can compare like a robot or like a cyborg. Yeah, I don't know if you know this famous cyborg called robot Sophia, but she's programming to understand the emotions, understanding. So if she can see you crying, she knows that means you're sad. But it doesn't mean that this cyborg, this piece of metal, know or have empathy to understand more about sadness, about anger, about envy. So you don't want that. You don't want to seem like a robot, but also you don't want to be that kind of person that is so emotional and so so sensitive that if you said anything to that person, he or she bursts into tears, or he or she exploded with rage attack. You need to have more balanced points of view. So to enter, I'm going to, in this journey, we're going to going through a little of history and a little of evolution about emotional intelligence. First of all, we can't talk about emotional intelligence without regarding this concept about multiple intelligence. Multiple intelligence is a concept or a theory that was developed by Howard Gardner in 1983. Now, he understands that if you have a knowledge in math or linguistics, they were not the only intelligence available. So he developed 8 new intelligence. And that opens the door to Daniel Goleman, our guru in emotional intelligence, regarding emotional intelligence, that is more significant than intelligence coefficient. And he wrote this amazing book called Emotional Intelligence. And I want to read carefully this sentence. Why it can matter more than the IQ, intelligence coefficient. So he developed the theory about how the EQ, emotional coefficient, is more important than intelligence coefficient. And here I want to quote a very dear book of mine, The Little Prince. I don't know if you have read it, but it's an amazing book. It's not only for children as well. And I want to quote this part of the book. The Little Prince says that it is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. And what these immortal words mean is that if you want to understand something, anything, any situation, in any scenario, you need to go beyond what your eyes can see, because our senses maybe lie to us. So you need to be more, to see with your heart, to see with your emotions, but also, like I told you before, to see with our brains. We need to be more in a balanced kind of way. So let me ask you something, and please feel free to write it down on the chat, because I would like to read your answers or your opinions. What do you think? That we born with emotional intelligence, or it develops as we grow? What do you think? Please comment in the chat. I'm going to give you a few minutes. What do you think? Is something that we born, it develops as we grow? Thank you. Any other answer that you want to share with us? It develops as we grow. It can be trained. Okay. Great. Well, the answer to this question is both. Surely it develops as we grow, but we also born with some characteristics proper of our personalities. And I want to give you this example. For instance, if you put some babies together and one baby starts crying, probably the other babies start crying as well. And that could mean two things. One, they imitate what they heard. They imitate the crying of the other baby. But they also mean that babies born with empathy, because they feel empathetic about the other baby that is crying. So actually, it's for both ways. So if I was born with empathy and with all these intelligence, emotional intelligence characteristics, but I was born in a home where I feel neglected, or that I feel the abandoned of my parents, probably that characteristics and that emotional intelligence doesn't going to well, exactly. Okay. So Daniel Goleman talked about this, and it is beautiful how he described our emotional intelligence and how it's important that we are going to see later in this presentation to become more awareness of our emotions. you could be a genius. I mean, you could be the reincarnation of Albert Einstein. But if you don't have emotional intelligence, if you don't know how to relate with others, or if you don't know how to relate with yourself, that intelligence coefficient is not going to be good enough. So I'm not going to hold on to this, but I want you to know, if you're interested in this topic about emotional intelligence, you can follow me on my social media. But I'm going only to mention that this was this that you can see here on the left side of the presentation is the model that Daniel Goleman built about emotional intelligence. And here we can find other models that other scientific and researchers developed based on Daniel Goleman theory. That is why it is important to have our own opinions, because you can take this information and then transform it to something else and something more, maybe more insightful, maybe more complete. So here's a quick poll that I want you to probably, I don't know if Mario can help me, that you answer this poll very, very honestly. How often do you feel that your emotions control your life? How often do you feel that? Rarely, from time to time, quite often, all the time. Take your time, but honestly, what is the truthful answer? From time to time, great. Here, from time to time, absolutely. Well, let me tell you something about myself. I'm going to open up with you guys. For me, the answer will be quite often. And I want to clear some things up. I'm a psychologist, of course, and I have some studies, but I realize that people think that if you're a psychologist or you're in psychiatric or maybe a coach or something of that sort, you maybe are like a robot, because it is unbelievable that a psychologist can feel frustrated, or can feel sad or angry, or feel envy. And let me tell you something. Yes, I have this profession, beautiful profession, by the way, but I'm also a human being. So if I'm a human being, I'm allowed to feel frustrated, and I'm allowed to feel sad, and I'm allowed to feel rage in some cases, and that's okay. Why I'm telling or sharing this with you? It's because that every single emotion that you feel, that's okay. That's fine, because there is not negative and positive emotions. And in my culture, for example, parents teach us that there are some emotions that are negative, such as sadness, such as anger, and that it's better that we don't feel it. But what they don't realize at the moment is that if you don't feel those emotions, you're going to repress it. And if you're going to repress it, it's like this. The body is like this bottle. If I put water and water and water inside of this bottle, at some point it's going to fall, the water. So our body is like this bottle that needs to be expressed gradually and assertively our emotions. We need to do that so that we could be more comprehensive with other emotions, so that we could understand better the emotions of others. So why this is important in our workplace. I'm going to, in this journey, I always want to use this metaphor. I'm going to take you to 10 steps that is really, really important to how control our emotions at the workplace. And I put this title because of the movie Inside Out. That is a beautiful movie. It's for children, but it teaches a lot about how emotions can begin and how emotions can control our actions and everything else. But before I tell you this, another thing that I want you to remember is to every single emotion have a light and a darkness. It's not bad to feel anger or to feel sadness. The bad part is what you do with that emotion. For example, if I'm feeling really frustrating and I told the other people that I'm talking to, please don't bother me, I need to calm down and I need to go breathe and think about what just happened, that is a very mature answer, and the other person needs to respect my wishes. But if I feel really frustrating and I take my cell phone and I throw them really hard to the wall, that is the thing that is going to be more that it will be wrong. Or if your boss is yelling at you and you raise your voice at your boss, you will be penalized for that action, not because you're angry or not because you're angry, but because your action was wrong and you don't respect the other person. So why we need to work through our emotions at the workplace? To cooperate with others, absolutely. Teamwork, understand. Some of you work maybe in sales, I don't know, or have clients or have co-workers or have stakeholders, anything. You work with people. And if you do, you need to understand how the other person is thinking. If you want to sell a product, you need to understand your client's emotions. Because if you do not understand that, you will not be able to sell to this person accurately. Manage work-related stress. I told you before, the workplace can be a very stressful place for some people. And if you don't manage that stress, you're going to be ill. And I don't mean mentally ill or just mentally ill. I mean that your body is so wise and it tell us a story. For instance, maybe you feel related with this scenario. I have this huge problem at work, and I started thinking, and out of the blue, I had a headache, or maybe a chest pains, or perhaps my back is killing me. This is a physical pain, and you feel it. You don't. It's not a product of your imagination, but you also need to understand that the origins of this pain is emotional, is psychological. So you need to work on your inner peace, on your balance, so that you can be healthy physically, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically. It helps us to solve conflicts. Absolutely, to be a mediator in some conflicts in our daily day. So at the workplace, if you are feeling maybe neglected, or if your coworkers are insufferable, these allow you to understand better the conflict and to know how to say, what to say, and how to express yourself, because language is the key. It's not the same, and language verbally and from our body. So it's not the same that I tell you, I'm so excited, I have this trip that I've been looking forward, that I tell you, yeah, I'm so excited for this trip, it's amazing, I feel so thrilled. It's not the same thing. And you already understand, so the second person, you will, really? You are excited for this trip? Tell it to your face, because I can tell. So you need to be more comprehensive about your own emotions to solve certain matters of your day, in your personal relationships, in your daily work. Improve interpersonal relationships. Here I talk about empathy. Empathy is another topic for another session, that it is amazing how empathy can be crucial, essential to these days, especially in this world that we are living in. We need more empathy. And here I want to make a distinction. It's not the same that I talk about empathy and sympathy. It's two different things, both very necessary. But sympathy, you are sympathetic when you can relate to other pain, but not get too attached or too involved. Empathy, however, you really feel the other person's pain. So if you have a death in the family, you really feel that pain, you really feel that suffering, and you do anything to make that person feel better. So empathy is essentially, and you don't get to know how to empathy work if you don't have emotional intelligence. Help you into leadership skills. Absolutely. A lot of you maybe want a promotion, or want to be heard in your work, or want to be followed by your teammates. This is so important, because a leader with emotional intelligence have all the opportunities in life, and have all the resources to hear more, to understand, to comprehend, and not to only direct people. You know, a good leader is not the person that says, you do this, you do that, and if you have any trouble, handle yourself. No, the leader is that person that go to your team, to your co-workers or subordinates, and said, is everything okay? Do you need help? Listen, you made that mistake, please, that doesn't happen again. And that only appears or happens if you have an emotional intelligence. A good leader is always going to be respected and heard. A bad leader is going to be a difficult road for him or for her. Achieve your personal team goals. Important thing, instead of a me, as a we. We are a community. We are teamwork. We need to think. We need to think in a common ground for the better sake of the company, or for the better sake of the community. More growth and personal stability. I told you this before. The stability is crucial. Imagine a closet. Go ahead, imagine. And I have jeans, t-shirts, and dresses, makeup, and technology devices. I'm sorry, in what possible scenario I'm going to find anything? I need order, I need a stability in my life. So I need to have the jeans in one place of my closet, the other items, I put them away, and I will find more easily all the information. So emotional intelligence do that to a person. We constantly hear that you need to separate your personal life from your work life. And well, that will be the ideal scenario, but it's not that easy. But you can manage to take some time to deal with your personal problems, and that personal problems doesn't interfere with your work life. And that always given to you by emotional intelligence, by meditation, and other tools and strategies that I'm going to share with you. More consciousness, awareness, more awareness about what we are going to do and what we are going to, or that more awareness about what we are going to feel, or that, for example, some of our emotions are very confusing, because you probably feel sadness, and you feel sad, of course, but maybe the first emotion that you feel is rage. So you need to identify which of these emotions come first, so that you can deal with that emotion specifically. Cognitive ability, I already told you that without emotional intelligence, your intelligence coefficient doesn't take a chance. And more motivation and job performance. If you want to do more effective work at your workplace, you need emotional intelligence, because without this emotional intelligence, you can't manage to understand even your work, or you feel frustrated or disoriented in your daily task. Now, I'm going to share with you this method. Now, let me warn you that this is not something scientifically proved. This is something I made up, but is going to help other people to know the steps when you have a difficult situation, what to do first and what to do second, and etc. So, the first step, the S, represent stop. Pause, breathe, take a deep breath, and count to 10 or 50 or whatever you want, and think. This step is so important. And I don't know if you're familiar with this technique that in the couple of years is really strong theory. I'm going to put it on the chat, so if you're interested, you can look it up. The mindfulness. I don't know if you're heard of it or if you're familiar with it, but I really recommend it. What is this mindfulness theory or strategy? Is it so that we could understand our present time? The important thing in life is now, is today. So if you are, for example, if you are eating, you don't think about this issue that you have in work, or you are upset because you have an argument with somebody. You think about eating, and the food tastes different, and it will be more healthy, and it will heal your body from the inside. Another example, if you are taking a bath, sometimes we take a bath with a lot of people. Let me explain this. We take a bath with our bosses and with our friends, or with our parents, or with our children, because we're thinking constantly about what people are saying, or what I'm going to do next. You need to focus on that activity, so that you could be more relaxed, more self-awareness, and help you to understand problems and issues better. So I really recommend this technique, that also have this breathe exercise that are so good, that you can do for 5 minutes when you wake up. 5 minutes, you sit down in your bed, you close your eyes, and you breathe deeply. And if you make this like a habit, your body will be training for difficult situations in the future. So if I train my body to understand my mind, my body, my breathing, later it's going to be more easily. It's going to be more. My body will understand how to breathe and how to think and how to pause in certain times of an argument or of a situation. Accept and deal with the situation. First of all, you need to accept what's happening, because if you don't accept this, or if you avoid this topic, you will have issues to confront them later, or to execute a plan to do certain things that it will be great for your way of thinking, or for that specific situation. So first of all, don't avoid any situation. If your boss is yelling at you, try to first of all breathe, think, pause, and then you accept what this situation is meaning. Facts. Analyze and gather all the information. If you have all the information, it's easy to understand the situation, and it's easy to build a plan for your next step, which leads us to the last, and this is very important. This will be the last step of this pyramid, or of this method. Execution. Take the step forward. You need to execute your plan, but if you remember certain dynamics, certain ideas or situation in your past, maybe you execute your plan really early in that issue, in that specific problem. For example, if my boss is yelling at me, I yell back and I threaten him, or I quit. Yeah, doing that plan very, very, very inappropriate and very and with a very difficult managing idea. That is what not leaders of tomorrow do. Leaders breathe, deal with the situation, analyze and gather all the information, and then take the step forward. And maybe you think these kind of steps are really hard, and there are actually they're difficult, but it's not impossible to do it, because if you do it, you feel so peaceful and you have your conscience so calm because you did the right thing to do. Okay, so if you execute your plan earlier, maybe you're going to make a terrible mistake. Now, if we are going to travel, or if we are going to go camping, we need some things, some objects to help us avoid danger. So here in the office, we found some stationary things, and I'm going to use this metaphor to explain to you the better thing in life that you need to take into consideration. So first of all, cut. If you like, I don't know, editing videos, for example, you need to cut some scenes and move it or delete it so that the video makes sense. So try to cut things in life that doesn't help you, that doesn't improve your life or make you grow as a better human being. And also try to take that scene, especially I take this example, my boss is yelling at me. So take this scene, my boss yelling at me, and analyze it further. So analyze it separately from the other scenarios, from your teammates, watching and from the rumors. No, you need to take that into account separately and understand that maybe my boss has a difficult situation early that day. Understand that he or she is a person and that he or she can feel this way. Maybe he needs to learn how to be more, how to use this safe method. But he also had became so frustrating that yelled to everybody and became like a monster in the workplace. Attach the scenes or the things that you are more fond of, and that you think that if I put these two scenarios together, they make more sense. For example, I realized that my boss discovered that we don't get all the results, all the results the campaign is going to have. So if I attach that discovering and my boss yelling at me, I could understand better what just happened. Highlight. Focus on the most important parts in your life. For example, highlight that part where your boss congratulates you for a very good job, or your teammates hear you and follow you as a leader. For example, highlight that parts on your life that are positive and that worth taking a risk. Save the parts of your life that you want to hold on to and you want to study later in life. We save those things that are important to us. Be careful, because if we put all this knowledge into a little box, a memory box, for example, if we put all this together, we found that we save a lot of things that are hurtful, that doesn't allow us to grow, that doesn't allow us to become a better human beings. Measure, absolutely. Measure your work, your thoughts, your ideas, because if you don't measure this this point of view, you could damage your relationships. You could damage your job or your reputation. So you need to measure your words. That is why it's better to take a pause and think before you act, before you take the next step. And of course, erase. As I told you before, don't save that things that hurt you, that encourage you to do wrong. Throw them away and erase them from your life. If my teammates or my coworkers start a rumor, that is the thing, and it's just a rumor, it's not true. That is the thing that I need to be erased from my life. That is the thing that I need to throw down to the trash can, because it doesn't help me at all. If a coworker or teammate make me realize that I made a mistake and point at me as a very good person, that listen, you need to work on this, or listen, you might find this useful, that is the thing that I can embrace. So here it is a quote that I like from Daniel Goleman, that he said, if you are tuned out of your own emotions, you will be poor at reading them in other people. This one I told you before, that you work with people, and if you want to understand your family's emotions, your co-workers' emotions, your clients' emotions, you need to work in yourself first. I always tell you this because self-awareness is the basic of the pyramid. It's the basic thing that you need to know to grow and to keep moving on this path, on this life path. now here it is, this final poll. I want to know what you think about this presentation, but also I want you to write me on the chat your learnings. For example, what is the most important thing that you learned here today? And invite you also to, this is only some pointers, very specific ones about emotional intelligence. If you want more information, I told you before, you can follow me on my social media, and you can enter to your MBS website, because there is all the courses and all the workshops that we are working that will help you to understand better all these topics that are so complex and so beautifully managed. So I encourage you to visit our website, and I recently have this Instagram account. You can find it, Mind to Heal, because it is important to talk about these specific topics. This account is really new. I just opened it. But I will post some knowledge about emotional intelligence and about mental health and everything that we need to know about our well-being. It is important not to avoid these topics. Thank you all for joining me today. I'm thrilled to share with you this knowledge, and I hope I can be of a little assistance of this matter that is from the heart, but also is really from the brain as well. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Maria, for the interesting presentation. Personally, I got a few things out of here. Some things I knew, some things were new to me, so I'll pay a little bit more attention to them in the future. For everyone else, as Maria said, this is just an introductory session. We're running full courses on emotional intelligence in the workplace. So please check out our website, and if you think that your team may be interested, we also do run the sessions in-house and tailor them to specific organizations. We will also prepare a video that you will have a link to, so that you can actually review what Maria was saying in this session. And this is all from me, so until next time, bye now.